Same baseball, same shifts from the sands of the Valley of the Sun in Arizona to the beautiful shores of San Diego as the Padres in a dress rehearsal returning to Petco Park for this, the second to last game of the spring affairs, with the Kansas City Royals 15-15 last year, or here in the spring, and the Padres 19-15. And good evening, everyone. With Mark Grant, Dick Enberg, we're pleased you're with us 2 days away from opening day. Final chance to check over some of those players that are on the borderline. Will they or will they not make the final 25-man roster? And you've got a rundown. There's 6 of them that are a little nervous at this point.
A lot of players on the bubble, a lot of sleepless nights. And who will toe that chalk line come opening day, hearing their name announced from the public address announcer? Andy Perino, Everett Cabrera, fighting for that bench spot. And quite frankly, Perino, Cabrera need a lot of playing time. So somebody's going to get that bench job and not really get a lot of at-bats. Jeremy Hermida could make the club. Mark Kotze hasn't been done yet, but could start the year on the DL. So the veteran Hermida could fill that outfield role.
Those last 2 pitchers, who's going to make it into that bullpen?
If I were a betting man, I would have to say Micah Owings. Micah Owings is throwing the ball well. He's got some big league experience, and don't forget that lumber that he swings as well. This guy's got a career 2
left-handers tonight. Jonathan Sanchez, the former Giant for Kansas City, his ERA this spring 9, and Clayton Richard also with a 9 ERA. One of those hopes to get things straightened away as the season is about to begin, and the left-hander from Indiana on the mound for San Diego.
Lineups and first pitch coming up next.
As the Padres host the Kansas City Royals. And a look at Ned Yost's starting lineup. Very young team, the youngest average age of any major league team. And there's some good ones in there. #1 draft picks, Gordon, Escobar, and Hosmer. Hosmer's been ripping the cover off the ball this spring. Veteran Jeff Francoeur gives some maturity in the middle of the lineup. Lorenzo Cain, then Moustakas, third baseman. Quintero is the catcher tonight, a familiar name, Padre a couple of years. Chris Getz at second base, and the left-hander Jonathan Sanchez on the mound. He came over from San Francisco, the Royals sending outfielder Melky Cabrera to the Giants. Clayton Richard, there's his numbers from a year ago. Required shoulder surgery at mid-season. Nobody works out, conditions themselves in a more arduous manner than Clayton Richard. He's worked hard all season and this spring to get himself back in shape. His numbers this spring are not glowing, to say the least. He's 0-1 with a 9.72 ERA, but pitches well here at Petco on a cool night. We'll see how the ball carries. It's going to be a big change from the Cactus League action. Starting for the Kansas City Royals in left field, Alex Gordon. Gordon, 6 years ago, the college baseball player of the year at the University of Nebraska. Hit .303 last year and bounces this one softly to Hudson. And one quick out. Well, Hudson at second. Here's the rest of Buddy Black's defensive alignment tonight. In the outfield, Guzman in left, Maben and Denorfia complete the fly chasers, with Chase Headley, Jason Bartlett, and Orlando Hudson, the veteran double play combination up the middle. Yonder Alonso at first, and the battery of Richard and Nick Hundley. Alcides Escobar hitting .350 this spring. As a team, Kansas City's spring batting average .303, best in the majors.
Yeah, they're free swingers. They're not afraid, just like the Padres.
Escobar sends this one high toward center fielder Maben. And Daddy Longlegs has the second out.
Pitching coach for the San Diego Padres, Darren Balsley, said before the game that Clayton Richard was going to try to twirl 4 innings. But the numbers for Clayton this spring do not stick out. I mean, they're not good numbers. But the main thing for Clayton Richard is that he's healthy. And Darren Balsley also mentioned, watch the arm swing of Clayton. He's got good arm swing, getting on top of the baseball nicely.
Here's Hosmer, the first baseman, a #1 draft pick of the Royals. He was taken first just 3 years ago and quickly elevated up through the ranks. Taps that one out in front of the mound. Richards throws it in the dirt, and safe at first base is Hosmer. Well, that's a reflection of some of the problems. Well, they apparently called out because he was out of the baseline. Hosmer was not inside that 3-foot lane. Ball struck him. He's called out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Clayton Richard, and he escapes a bad throw in the process. So that's it for the Royals in the top of the first inning. Coming up for the Padres, here's the play again. See, he's not in the lane. He's in the field of play, and the ball strikes him. Hosmer's out.
I was going to
Layer tonight, no Marine layer, as Bud Black sends this lineup up against Jonathan Sanchez, the lefty for Kansas City. Cameron Maben will lead it off. We'll give you the entire lineup in a moment as Maben's ready to go, with Denorfia and then Headley to follow in this first inning. By the way, the same two teams will play tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Lake Elsinore, so you fans out to the east will get a chance to see Major League action.
It's going to be a good Lake Elsinore team when you consider the young players that are going there in A-ball action for the coming season. Maben, just 10 for 60 this spring. A ball and a strike.
You know, you mentioned that playing here at Petco Park tonight, it's cooler. There's more moisture in the air than in Arizona, right? So these two pitchers battling tonight, you might see a little bit more movement on their pitches because a little bit of moisture in the air.
And the foul, the ball and 2 strikes. 65 degrees, but it's going to drop into the 50s during the evening. Barely a breeze out of the west. The forecast indicate that Thursday should be a beauty, a 4 o'clock start. A little later than that with the opening ceremonies, but our coverage here on Fox Sports San Diego begins at 12:30. Plenty of baseball for you to open the regular season. And the count full to Maben.
Well, we know that Jonathan Sanchez can have streaks of wildness like Clayton Richard on the mound as well. So sometimes he has a tendency to work underneath the baseball. Chris Denorfia, who waits on deck, he's getting a good look at the left-hander not far away.
And he walks Maben to open the Padre first inning. He had the worst walk per innings pitched in the major leagues last year, nearly 6 per 9 innings. Maben, Denorfia, then Headley. Guzman against a left-hander in that cleanup spot. Then Hundley and Alonso with Hudson, Bartlett, and Richard the lower third of the order. Sanchez is 29 now, a 6-footer, 190 pounds, threw a no-hitter against the Padres in July of 09. Almost a perfect game, in fact. He didn't walk a man in that no-hitter, and the only base runner reached on an error. He won 8-0.
Yeah, I remember that game. Juan Uribe was inserted at third base for defensive purposes, and he's the one who made the error.
Just misses to Denorfia. Good spring for him. 357.
You know what this else does for the Padres tonight, Dig, is it gives the lineup a good look at a left-hander in Sanchez, and they're going to be facing a left-hander Kershaw come Thursday, opening day right here at Petco Park.
What a way to, and that's just barely getting a fingernail on the bag. What a way to start the season. Only against the best pitcher in all of baseball. The Cy Young Award winner, young Clayton Kershaw. Edinson Volquez, the right-hander from Cincinnati, will start it for the Padres. And again, Maben just barely back into the tag of first baseman Hosner.
Quick move from Humberto Quintero behind home plate. He's got the front door open with the right-handed hitter. Almost a timing play where Eric Hosmer, after that pitch is caught, darts back to the bag quickly.
Misses inside. 2 balls and a strike to Denorfia. Interestingly, these two teams had identical records last year, 71 and 91, but the so-called experts around baseball feel that the Royals, with their youth and another year maturity, they're going to be right there with Detroit in the American League Central. Tigers favored to win the Central, of course, with the addition of Fielder.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough club to beat for anybody in the American League. They are going to be a good one. They've got the White Sox, they've got the Indians and the Twins. And as Volquez is having a little fun on the bench before he toes the slab Thursday night.
2 balls and a strike. Let's see if Bud Black has a little run and hit going here. That right side is wide open. Nope. And the foul will be out of play. The Dodgers in the 4-game series will go with Kershaw against Volquez. Then on Friday night, Billingsley and Lupke will match up. Capuano and Mosley on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Clayton Richard scheduled to pitch against Aaron Harang.
You know, the only reason why I think Buddy Black would not put on a hit and run, he may, but because of the wildness of Sanchez, might be a straight steal.
Fly ball routine. Lorenzo Cain in right center. One away. Royals set up defensively this way with Gordon, Cain, and Francoeur left to right in the outfield. Moustakas at third, Escobar and Getz up the middle, and Hosmer the first baseman. And Quintero handling the offerings of Jonathan Sanchez. Switch hitting third baseman Chase Headley. 10 hits this spring, 5 of those for extra bases, 3 home runs. Sanchez working on his pickoff move tonight.
Yeah, and Quintero and Getz having a chat just to get their signs straight. You know, Getz will relay the signs to Escobar, whether it's a breaking pitch, whether it's a fastball, so the middle infielders can cheat a little bit.
Gets in there as a late replacement for Yuniesky Betancourt, who was scratched about an hour before the game. Was in the original lineup. Betancourt. Breaking ball in for a strike. Sanchez missed the second half of last year, plagued with first a biceps tendonitis, then he had a severe ankle sprain. Finished 4-7. Another strike. Quiet crowd, as you might imagine, this exhibition game. Quite in contrast to the sellout on Thursday. He strikes him out.
There's that high fastball from Jonathan Sanchez. Not where he wanted it, but out of the hand. Looks very inviting to Chase Headley. Looks like it's got four-seam action to go along with that four-seam fastball. He also throws a slurve and a split. You can see Chase Headley just a tad behind that heater from Sanchez.
Jesus Guzman, one of the best against left-handed pitching in all of baseball last year after being recalled. Hit .312 overall, best Padre average. And he's had a good spring, right at 300. Led the team in home runs and runs batted in. 5 homers.
Just notice Sanchez using a different type of leg kick. When you look at the leg kick with the runner on first base, watch his knee. See how his knee, there's the rubber. His knee crosses where the rubber is, but the rule is if your foot crosses the rubber, that's a balk. Your knee can do that, but not your foot. See, there it is there again. His knee crosses the plane of the rubber, but his foot does not, so that's legal.
Sanchez, Puerto Rican born, and attended college here in the States at Ohio Dominion. Another breaking ball strike, and he jumps in front of Guzman. 0-2.
Here it is again. If the foot breaks the plane of the rubber, it's a balk. But see, the knee is over the rubber, right, and beyond, so that is no balk. I remember another pitcher like that used to pitch like that was for the St. Louis Cardinals, Lee Tunnell. Remember Lee Tunnell pitched for the Redbirds? Had a nice long career in the big leagues in the Pittsburgh Pirates. He did the same thing.
If Guzman keeps it alive here in the first inning, Nick Hundley would be next. Leadoff walk to Maben. He's still at first base. Now 2 gone, and 1-2 the count. Well, we enjoyed our time in March and April. A few days in April, even back to February with Bud Black and the Padres over in Peoria. The folks over there in Arizona doing a great job in hosting San Diego. But back home at PETCO,
Can't beat it.
Doesn't it feel sweet? Struck him out. So Sanchez fans Headley and Guzman. And after one, no score. The second here at Petco, Jeff Francoeur for the Royals, then Lorenzo Cain and Mike Moustakas. Francoeur, 246 this spring. And Richards pitched just inside. Grew up in the Atlanta area, former Met. Lines it right at the shortstop, Bartlett. Well struck. Hitter, especially in the spring, goes back to the dugout, doesn't feel badly about that. He squared it up.
And from a hitter's standpoint, what do? Absolutely nothing. Jeff Francoeur can go back to that dugout and feel that he put a good swing on it, as you mentioned. Squared it up nicely. Get him next time.
Well, the Royals so far, they've been first ball hunting, haven't they? Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder, part of the reason that the Royals have the best batting average of any team in the spring, 303. He's hitting 394. With 5 home runs. He's been a good pickup. He was part of that Zach Greinke deal with Milwaukee. Lanky outfielder, built a lot like Cameron Maben. 2-hopper. Bartlett takes care of business, but his throw is high and wide and safe as Cain on the throwing error. Bartlett with what appeared to be a routine chance.
Very routine. He works underneath it, and Alonso on the swipe comes up dry as Cain gets down the line nicely. A very makeable play for Jason Bartlett. Just worked underneath and it sailed on him.
Brings up the third baseman, Mike Moustakas, young 23-year-old power hitter from Chatsworth, California, in the San Fernando Valley.
It kind of hurts because if that would have been a good throw to first base. 2 batters, 4 pitches, 2 outs.
Moustakas, another one of those #1 draft picks. The Royals earning the right to pick very high in the draft because they've been a last place team for so long in the American League Central. And the call by plate umpire Ripperger is a balk. You could hear him bark it out. And now Cain on an error and a balk is in scoring position.
Here's what I don't understand. How does the home plate umpire call that and not the first base umpire? And we know that Clayton Richard has one of the best moves in all of baseball. And sometimes, quite frankly, I think he gets penalized for it.
Yeah. Let's see what he did.
Okay, he comes set. don't see anything wrong with that.
Just a little herky-jerky. It wasn't quite like the same move on the previous throw over. There goes a runner to third. The throw by Hundley, not in time. So look at Kane. Safe on an error. Balk to second. Steals third. And with one out, the Royals can get a run without the aid of a base hit.
One of the things that pitchers really try to work on in spring training is not the one look, the two look, and the three look. Looking those runners back, making them freeze. It looks like Lorenzo Cain got a good running start because Clayton Richard just one looked him. Got the sign, came set, looked at the runner, off to the plate, and Cain was off to third base.
Goes after the high heat, and down goes Moustakas. Swung at a ball up around the bill of his helmet. So the infield playing in for Moustakas with the runner at third, one out. Now they can move back to their normal position. First strikeout for Clayton Richard. That brings up Humberto Quintero. Padre for a couple of seasons, 2003 and 2004. Two-seamer there.
He's got some good action on that two-seam fastball.
Fouled at the plate. 2 strikes as Richard jumps in front. Kansas City, after playing the Padres tomorrow at Lake Elsinore, will move up the freeway. They open at the Los Angeles Angels. That one fouled through the glove of Hundley. Padres hosting the Dodgers for 4. They're sold out on Thursday, but seats available, fans, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Easter Sunday, bring out the family.
Well, the velocity for Clayton Richard getting up to 94 on the fastball. That last one was 92, and that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. Last time he threw in the Cactus League, he was barely touching 90.
He looks confident out there. He's got a good arm swing working, getting through the baseball nicely. Downward plane.
Good block by Hundley. Saved a run. These Royals are talking about getting all those #1 draft picks and now bearing some fruit, they hope.
Looked like a short breaking ball.
Probably using that chest protector to keep the ball in front of him. 2 out, Kane at third. And another protective swing from Quintero.
See Clayton Richard trying to expand the strike zone there to Quintero. Went down and away out of the strike zone. And he's a free swinger. Remember, one of the pitches in the arsenal of Richard is the high fastball, the 4-seamer.
That's the pitch he struck out Moustakas with.
He's going fastball in right here, trying to tie him up.
Ground ball at Headley. Couple of hops. Across to Alonso, and the inning's over. No damage done, no score. We go to the bottom of the second. Baseball returns. We got some of the big names in the game. Albert Pujols, the Angels. Prince Fielder, the Tigers. The defending world champs, the St. Louis Cardinals. They headline the debut of Fox Saturday Baseball at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 here Pacific time. Beginning with our all-new pregame show that covers all the big stories and gets you ready for the first pitch right here on Fox. Last of the second, it'll be Huntley, Alonso, and Hudson against Jonathan Sanchez. No score. Speaking of a score, it appears that the Baylor Bears are going to be the women's national basketball champions and an unbeaten year for Kim Mulkey's team. They're leading Notre Dame 75-52 with just 4 minutes to go. Be the first time ever women's team has won 40 games.
That is an incredible season. Are you kidding me?
40-0.
I don't care what level it is. You don't lose a game, that's doing something.
Hundley fouls it back. Down in the hole is Orlando Hudson with Yonder Alonso on deck.
That's a great shot we've got here on Fox Sports San Diego. Huh? A little look-see into the dugout of Orlando Hudson, gearing it up to go out on deck. You know what that tells me? I mean, and everybody does it, but preparation.
Ground ball up the middle. Gloved nicely by Escobar. And he throws it into the dugout. Actually, it hits the screen and comes back, so that'll keep Hundley at first base. Yeah, the reliable Escobar, a little wild on that throw.
Gets to the ball nicely and does the right thing. Turns towards his glove side, but way off balance. There's a good chance for Hosmer to get hurt on that one, running into the runner. And then how about the throw in towards the dugout? Does it hit the net? Ooh, just glad everybody's okay in that Padre dugout.
So the two shortstops contribute errors here in the second inning. It did not cost Clayton Richard and the Padres. Let's see if San Diego can take advantage of Escobar's throw as Alonso, for the first time in that Padre uniform here in PETCO, in game action, finished the spring 319. First baseman. Padres hope will be at that spot for the next 10 years. Wearing Adrian Gonzalez's. Oh, they're going to call that after they flashed an error up. They now are going to give Hundley a base hit. That's an interesting bit of scoring.
Yeah, I thought that ball had a chance to scoot through, and Escobar got to that ball nicely.
So give Hundley a hit. He'll gladly be the recipient of that gift. Strike two to Alonso. Former University of Miami star, wearing number 23, Adrian's old number, and he had 23 hits this spring. So that carries some of that Gonzalez magic for this young guy. Drive to left center field, and it's slicing away from Kane, and he makes the running catch. Hundley all the way to second, has to scamper back to first as Alonso flirts with a extra base hit, but Kane runs it down. Good play.
Great first jump, and remember, off the bat of Alonso, that ball is hooking towards left fielder, right? So he's got to make up tons of ground. So reading the ball off the bat and then gearing it up to get to that ball before it hits into the gap. But once again, a nice swing by Yonder Alonso going the opposite way. I think he's going to be wearing out these gaps at Petco Park in 2012.
Well, that's his reputation. He showed that during the spring. Left center field, right center field. Orlando Hudson suffered through a staggering spring with injuries and the bat. Only 4 hits and 26 at bats. Saving him for the regular season. Jason Bartlett moves into the on deck circle. The Padres not only led all National League teams with a .290 team batting average, they were number 2 in the major leagues in home runs this spring with 39.
I did notice the Padres taking advantage of opposing pitchers' mistakes and crushing the fastball.
Hudson with a home run. Amongst his 4 hits.
Crushing the fastball, crushing the hanging breaking ball. Hitting coach for the Padres, Phil Plantier, enjoying a big league ball game while Alonzo Powell watches inside.
High strike, 2-1.
Looked like a split finger from Jonathan Sanchez, his off-speed pitch. One of the things pitching coach for the Royals, Dave Island, was trying to do this spring is have Sanchez stay on top of the baseball and work downhill. Sometimes he'll work underneath it.
3 balls and a strike. And Sanchez really a Jekyll and Hyde season, however brief because of the injuries last year. On one hand, with runners in scoring position, he allowed a 190 batting average. And yet on the other hand, he walked more per 9 innings than anyone in the league. And in the majors, soft high fly ball to right, and there'll be 2 away. Now let's go to Greg Wolf for a Fox Sports game break.
Mariners Rockies 4th inning. Jason Giambi RBI single to right, and the Rockies win 9-8. The Padres will be in Colorado April 16th. That's our Fox Sports game break. Back to Dick and Bird at Petco Park.
Yeah, the veteran Jason Giambi, over 40 years of age. He's had a good spring. He hits for Colorado.
Maybe he and Jamie Moyer should get together and have some dinner.
That's right. We'll see the Rockies on the first road trip. Go to Los Angeles for 3 and then to Colorado for 3. Bartlett, 262 on the spring with a home run. Hundley safe on that infield hit, still at first base. Off speed, and Bartlett fooled.
That was a perfect delivery by Jonathan Sanchez. Staying on top of the baseball. That arm whipping action on the split finger fastball. And as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, get there, get there, get there, but you've already committed your swing. It's so hard to hold up.
Ground ball into right field for a base hit. Hundley will have to check at second base as Francoeur with a great arm gets it in. Now the Padres 2 on with 2 out. And here's the pitcher, Clayton Richard.
Nice hitting by Jason Bartlett. See how he gets that top hand on top of that pitch right across the Padres on that chest. A lot of hitters will have a tendency to work underneath that baseball and pop it up. Easy fly ball right field, but Bartlett does a good job of hitting the top half of that baseball.
Well, thanks to Lorenzo Cain's fine running catch in center field on Alonso's ball, the Royals have not been dented as yet. And Richard came up with a base hit. He drives one high and deep to right, hooking at the foul pole, and it is foul ball. Foul ball. A late call by first base umpire Chris Guccione, and not a very dramatic one at that. Clayton Richard thought he had a 3-run dinger.
And you know, I'm surprised that Chris Guccione, the umpire, didn't kind of run down the line a little bit more and get a closer look. I'm not saying he made the wrong call by any means, but that ball was hung up there so long and so high. You kind of sprint down there, and I know you want your eyes to be quiet. You want to be flat-footed when you make the call. How close was it?
That looked like a home run from that angle. It's inside that extension of the foul pole, not on the outside. Layla's down in the dugout, had a different angle. What did you see?
Well, I just saw the reaction from all the players. Orlando Hudson runs out and goes, did he get it? Did he get it? Did he get it? And Edson Volquez is really depressed, just looks at the foul pole, puts his hands down because they're in a touchdown formation and goes, no. So some disappointed guys down here in the dugout because they sure thought that that one was gone.
Yeah, the instant replay. Of course, if this were a regular season game, they could go to instant replay and clarify whether or not that was a home run. And the the dugout's still on Gucciani. That's one of those. Did you really see that one, Chris, as a foul ball or a foul ball? And he says, yeah, got it all the way.
And you have to realize with the Titleist driver down there, the Rocket, the tailor-made Rocket. You know, there's a lot of advertising going on down there, and it's tough, you know, with the ball quickly landing on the right side of that foul pole. So I think he may have gotten it right.
And he strikes out Richard, who flirted with a 3-run homer, but Sanchez escapes trouble, and after 2 here at Petco, there's no score. At the park, the Fox Sports San Diego set that'll be used by Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney and others, and pre and post game show, an hour pre and an hour post game show throughout the season. What a beautiful setup. You fans that buy tickets for that area, you'll be able to have a close-up look at television action.
I'll tell you what, that is big league, brother. That set out there, that's got Super Bowl, World Series, All-Star Game quality written all over it.
Pretty plush accommodations. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chris Getz, the second baseman, with Sanchez and then Gordon, the top of the order, to follow here in the Royals' 3rd inning.
Well, one thing about Clayton Richard that we all love, he works very quickly on that hill, does he not? He gets that rock, toes the slab, and he's ready to fire. Fastball in. Nice.
Tied him up. That's the second strikeout for Clayton Richard. Brings up the pitcher Sanchez. And we welcome from the dugout first base coach Dave Roberts. Dave, along with his responsibilities during a game, also, of course, during spring training, working with the base running technique, stealing. The Padres led the majors with 170 steals last year. We're trying to work out the technical arrangement. Dave obviously was not hearing us. Get his thoughts on whether or not the Padres will be. They didn't run that much this spring, maybe just saving it. 0-2 pitch to Sanchez, who was just kind of backing out of the batter's box saying, strike me out, I want to get back to the dugout. Didn't show an awful lot of effort there, did he? Nor there.
Oh.
No, he said, come on, call me out.
Oh.
Everybody thought he was struck out except plate umpire Mark Krippicher.
Nick Hundley threw the ball down to third base thinking that was a called third strike. Look at this. Okay, throw it around the horn, boy. And Nick's like, can I have that back?
There you go. Third time the charm. Sanchez says, get rid of me. Third strikeout for Clayton Richard. 2 outs to Alex Gordon, the leadoff man. Sanchez with a smile. He said, Gosh, I just could have had a little bit of swing on one of those. I might have knocked it out of here.
You know what I'm thinking? Ned Yost might give orders to Jonathan Sanchez. Hey, you know what? I don't want to get yourself hurt swinging a bat. We've heard of crazy stories, right?
Yeah, that would be a little extreme, wouldn't it? At the last minute.
They have the DH in the American League. I'm not saying it's the case, but you know what? Hey, Jonathan, go up there, take your 3 strikes, and take a hike.
Even though Sanchez is accustomed to swinging the bat,
right,
for the Giants. Gordon saw a fly back a short. And a nice play made by Jason Bartlett, running away with a backhand grab. Well done by the veteran shortstop. As the Royals are out in order, and Bartlett with a fine defensive play. Another major acquisition, and we welcome from Washington, D.C., Britt McHenry. Britt.
Hey there, it's great to be here. Well, as you guys know, as the team gets ready for opening day, at least 3 players know they'll be here for quite some time. Cameron Maybin, of course, signed a 5-year deal in spring training, made quite the splash, as well as Nick Hundley, who re-upped for 3 more years. And most recently, Corey Lupke signed on to be through at least 2015. A lot of promise there, but that's not the only news going on around the league. Of course, the Reds just signed Joey Votto to a 10-year, $225 million contract. Quite a lucrative option. But over in San Francisco, Matt Cain also extended 5 years for almost $113 million. So a lot of happy faces around the league as they gear up for yet another year. Back to you guys.
All right, Britt. Let's see. When you re-up Mud, when you made the big, what did you get? You told us the story about as a rookie making the San Francisco Giants opening day.
1984.
Right.
The minimum salary was $42,500.
42. Now the minimum's almost $500,000.
$480,000 is the minimum.
Timing. A ball, 2 strikes on Maybin, leading off the third, and he takes strike 3, and that's 4 strikeouts for Sanchez. Denorfia fly to center his first time as Maybin caught looking.
Looked like he was looking for something else, maybe an off-speed pitch. That fastball in the inside corner, thigh-high, legitimate strike from Sanchez.
High and away to Denorfia. 1 walk allowed by Sanchez. 4 strikeouts, a couple of hits. No score here in the last of the third. Padres trying to win their 20th game of the spring. No word yet regarding Mark Kotze and how serious that calf injury is. Will he be able to open the season, or will he be placed on the DL should he go on the shelf, then that would open up things for another player, and logically it would be Jeremy Hermida to fill that outfield spot. Taken away, and the count rolls to 3-1.
Love to see the kids at the ballpark, huh? With their parents taking in a big league ball game.
Fouled into the glove of catcher Quintero.
There's that split-fingered fastball right at the heart of the plate. And even when you throw it at the heart of the plate, it's very effective because it takes a lot off that pitch. And plus, a little bit of movement swings over the top of it.
Ground ball at the third baseman Moustakis across to Hosmer, 2 away. And opening day, of course, on Thursday is sold out, but there are good seats available for the Dodger series. Friday night at 7, Saturday 5:30, and Sunday at 1 o'clock. And Friday fans, you'll receive a 2012 schedule cling presented by Aladdin Bail Bonds. Tickets for the weekend going fast. Don't wait. Be sure to buy early. Save at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555.
It's got a good ring to it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I get it. Ring, call, yeah.
Get on the horn.
Save some of those for the regular season. Yeah. Don't waste them all here in the spring. And you know what happens now if you call and buy tickets, and you can buy single game tickets now all the way through the season. So you go through the whole schedule, pick out the games you want. You can buy those tickets now, and if you buy them early, you save. They're less expensive the earlier you buy them. Headley struck out the first time. Hits this one fairly deep to left. How deep is it? Gordon is back, and that ball is gone. Touch them all. Headley gives the Padres a 1-0 lead. His 4th home run of the spring. That matches his entire season total of 2011.
Remember earlier in the at-bat, Sanchez threw him a breaking ball. Chase Headley checked his swing. That was a breaking ball. And Jonathan Sanchez is going to have to check with the umpire to get a new baseball. A hanging breaking ball off the bat of Headley, and the Padres are on the board.
Guzman struck out his first time. Headley, who really turned things around last year from that right side. From the University of Tennessee star. Looking to have a big year. Improve in the power department. And if this spring is any indication, 4 home runs. You could be on pace for a 15-18 home run year.
Especially if you get that hanging breaking ball from a left-handed pitcher on the inside part of the plate as a right-handed hitter. You better make darn well sure as a pitcher you bury that down by the back knee.
Turns that one over. Low and away. 2-1 to Guzman. Three balls and a strike.
Really working underneath that one, and Quintero says, okay, enough. Your arm slot was way off. Really worked underneath it, kind of dragging that elbow a little bit.
You know what I'm wondering about opening day? The arm slot of Jerry Coleman throwing out that first pitch.
That's right.
Isn't that going to be great?
That'll be great to see the Colonel out there.
You know that sellout crowd's going to give the Colonel a big hand. An American hero to be certain. He's been practicing. The 3-1 pitch. Chase Headley's home run giving the Padres a 1-0 lead here in the third. That ball is drilled to deep center field. Kane going back, touch 'em all. Guzman, number 6 this spring. And the Padres continue to play long ball here in the exhibition season. It's the 41st team home run this spring.
Hanging breaking ball to Headley. High fastball. Look at the extension of the arms of Jesus Guzman. Nice, short, compact swing. Going to one of the deeper parts of Petco Park. Into the bullpen of the Padres.
Well, Guzman certainly was the surprise, at least offensively, for the Padres last year. Called up at midseason and became their best hitter. And against left-handed pitching, he just wears out the lefties.
He's got to get some serious at-bats. I mean, even against right-handed pitching. I know Buddy Black is going to have his set lineups and, platoon guys with lefties, righties.
Headley goes down swinging as Sanchez strikes out his fifth man, but back-to-back home runs. Headley and Guzman, and the Padres lead 2-0. What can There's two men around, Guzman and Headley, on their home runs, but they got a good start as well from first base coach Dave Roberts, who joins us now from the dugout. Dave, last year with your tutelage and your passion for base stealing, base running, 170 steals, led the major leagues, but not that much base action in the spring. You're holding it back for the regular year?
I think there's a little bit to that, Dick. I think that guys know what they can do, and mechanically we're pretty sound, and I think that we didn't want to test the waters too much. I think that maybe a little bit for fear of injury, but I think that we've run enough, and obviously preparing for the season, we'll be ready to go.
Dave, before the game, we know that the Kansas City Royals are in the American League, but you are diligently looking at video of Sanchez and his pickoff move. You've got a lot of work going on in that coach's office.
Yeah, it's kind of spring training for all of us. I think that for Ricky and I, studying pitchers and tendencies and things like that. So we kind of want to play this game as we gear towards opening day in the Dodgers, and focus on Sanchez and some tendencies and things like that, and obviously carry that on into the Dodger series. But that's what we do. We try to give our guys that competitive advantage.
And you're there with a stopwatch, and how do you employ that?
Yeah, the stopwatch basically is like there's a certain kind of, the 1-3-5 from the pitcher to the catcher that we feel if the guy is a little bit slower than that, then we've got a good shot at, stealing second base. And so a lot of times I'll go in the guy's ear and let them know if he's, a 1-2 guy, a 1-2-5, or he might be 1-3-9 or whatever it might be to give those guys an advantage. A little bit of extra information.
So you're talking about splitting hairs in terms of, the hundredths of a second. So when do you gauge that someone has a slow move? 1-4, is that really slow?
1-4 is really slow, but you know what? My mentor was Maury Wills, and he was always he was against the watch, so he was all about the eyes.
Line drive to left field, and the Royals have their first base hit as Eric Hosmer, their red hot hitter this spring, delivers a line drive single.
Yeah, so Maury was just all about the eyes, and I think that sometimes people get intimidated if he's a 1-2-5 or whatever it might be, that you're afraid to steal the base. But if your eyes tell you something, you feel you can get a good jump and a good lead, then you'll be successful.
Well, what I saw, Dave, was that Jonathan Sanchez, with his leg kick, he would break the plane with his knee, but not his foot. And of course, you're all over that, correct?
Yeah, you know what? And Jonathan Sanchez, in years past, we've had a lot of success running the bases against him. But he's changed a few things. So Ricky and I were doing a little talking, and you know, credit to him. But you know, he's got the knee, but so it's not a balk. But it kind of kept us at bay in that first inning with Cam at first. But you know, hopefully we get some more base runners and test the waters a little bit.
Francoeur, the hitter, with Hosmer at first with 1 out, 2-0. There's the move. You can't see it, Dave, but on our monitor, it's that old look toward home, but throw to first. Maury Wills, you brought it up. Wills, the great base stealer of the Dodgers, he used to say that he could steal better against left-handers than right-handers.
Yeah, you know what? And typically, I think that by rule, guys are against that. With the lefty, you know, facing the runner, but Maury was a guy who studied the game a lot, and you know, he went on first move, but you know, had a good idea of pitchers' tendencies, and yeah, absolutely, Dick. He said he felt more comfortable with the lefties and the righties, but I think that, you know, to a man, mostly it's the opposite.
Your best base stealer, who do you trust the most in terms of if you had to get a steal of second base in the 9th inning to put a man in scoring position, who's the guy?
And you can't say yourself.
Mud is definitely not me anymore. That's easy. I eliminated myself. I would say 1 and 1A would be Cam, with Will just right behind him.
And who has the best move besides Clayton Richard in the National League from a left-hander? Clayton Kershaw doesn't have necessarily the best move, but with his slide step, he kind of controls the running game. He has enough arm speed to keep his stuff, and with the slide step, when typically pitchers lose stuff with the slide step. But Chris Capuano is another guy, ironically, that we're going to see in this series coming up. He's got a great move as well.
Francoeur with the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dave Roberts, the first base coach, is with us from the Padre dugout. Padres leading 2-0 on home runs by Guzman and Headley. And Francoeur fouls it off.
Feel good to get back in that coach's office or your coach's clubhouse there, Dave?
It does. You know, we've got a nice chemistry in the coaching staff, and you know, guys that really, you know, like each other and just understand that it's all about the players. And you know, coming down from Buddy, that you know, we're teachers, and you know, just kind of being in that coach's room and talking about, you know, how we can get our players better. It's a lot of fun and very satisfying. Absolutely.
Ground ball through the right side. It almost hit Hosmer, and he'll move on to second base. Back-to-back singles against Richard here in the 4th inning. So the tying run on for the Royals. What is the business ladder for a first base coach? I mean, I know you're happy with your role here. You're part of the whole faculty under the dean, Buddy Black. But you know, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, Dick, I've just kind of taken the approach. I'm going to take it year to year, and I love what I do. And you guys know me. I ask a lot of questions, and I try to get the lay of the land in all aspects of, you know, of baseball. And I ask Buddy a lot of questions. I ask Darren Balsley a lot of questions about pitching. And you know what? Right now, with this rapport and where I'm at, I love what I do, and I think that you know, whatever opportunities present themselves, you know, I think that we'll go from there. But I just love what I do, Dick.
Josh Burns, the general manager, commenting this week that the Padres are under the radar. Not many folks predicting the Padres are going to have a great season. What are your feelings about what's ahead?
Yeah, I think that anyone who's put on a San Diego Padre uniform can kind of relate to that. You know, it seems like, you know, we're always under the radar. You know, it doesn't matter what guys are wearing this uniform, and that's just kind of the way it goes. But you know, the 25 guys in clubhouse all believe we can win, and it's you know, something special is kind of brewing in this clubhouse, and you know, the guys that were here in 2010, you know, liken it to that. So it's fun, and you bring in guys like Cashner and, you know, Houston Street, guys that really have a lot of confidence, and you know, Edison Volquez, and it makes for a nice club, and obviously Mark Kotsay and the Quintons of the world.
Bartlett gets one there, and then on the exchange, Hudson drops the ball, but the ruling is the runner is out, that he didn't bobble the reception of the ball, but in trying to get the ball out of his glove to throw to first base. So safe on the fielder's choice is Lorenzo Cain, 1st and 3rd with 2 out.
Right at the belt buckle of Orlando Hudson. I think it was just a case of him just trying to be too quick. Maybe he heard footsteps. They do get the runner at second base, and probably wouldn't have even been close at first base on the turn.
So Moustakas steps in. He struck out swinging on a high fastball first time, and he pops this one up. Alonso called off by Hudson, and that'll do it for the Royals. Thanks, Dave Roberts, for joining us.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me.
2-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth.
Break, Giants and A's, bottom of the first, and Matt Cain just signed that $127.5 million deal, the largest for a righty in baseball history. Serves up a solo shot to Josh Reddick. Back to Dick Enberg at Petco Park.
So that's one of the features of Fox Sports San Diego's coverage, comprehensive coverage, every Padre game. Game breaks to bring you up to date on action on the diamonds around the major leagues. Bottom of the fourth, and a new pitcher for Kansas City is Jose Mijares, a veteran left-hander from Venezuela. And he'll be working to Alonso, Hudson, and Bartlett in the Padre fourth, leading 2-0. Last season with Minnesota, out of the pen, 58 games. That ball hit well by Alonso to left field. Chasing to the wall and off the top of the wall and on his way to second, and here's the throw, and he is out of there. Alex Gordon, who won a Gold Glove last year in left field and was one of the leaders in outfield assists, plays it perfectly. The carom right to him, and then a strike to second base, and Alonso is out easily.
You talk about playing that ball perfectly. Realizing that the ball is over his head, okay, because if I go back to the wall, that ball is going to roll back towards the infield. Alonso sees everything developing right in front of him. I got to turn it up a gear. Tries to go to the outside part of the bag. Erased. He gets him.
But again, Alonso showing you he can go the opposite field. He's robbed of a hit by Cain his first time up in left center field and bangs that one off the wall. Just missed a home run by about 3 feet. Hudson fly to right his first time, and another fly ball to right field. Easing it is Francoeur. 2 away. Bartlett singled through the hole on the right side his first time.
You know, Mijares is kind of a sneaky left-hander. He's throwing about 92, 93 miles an hour, a fastball. Goes from the first base side of the rubber. So against lefties, he's coming right at you.
We got a big NBA game here on Fox Sports San Diego tomorrow. The Clippers and the Lakers.
There's that look from the first base side of the rubber.
And the final is in. The National Women's Championship, and Baylor defeats Notre Dame 80-61 in tonight's final. Baylor completing a 40-0 perfect season.
So Irish eyes are not smiling.
Not tonight, but they had a great year.
They sure did.
1 ball, 1 strike on Bartlett. That just missed. Now, Harris was on the mound for the Twins 4 years. And tough on left-handed hitters. Career .212 average allowed against left-handed batters. That's in there for a strike. 2-2. Aaron Balsley on the phone to the bullpen.
Phones are working.
Clayton Richard has worked 4 innings. Shutout ball, and Bartlett goes down swinging. No runs a hit, but Alonso's long single. He was thrown out at second. It remains 2-0. Lead on solo home runs by Chase Headley and Jesus Guzman back-to-back in the third. And Clayton Richard goes to his 5th inning of work. Will face the lower third of the order. Quintero gets and the pitcher's spot for the Royals. Quintero grounded to third his first time up, and Mark Sweeney joins us from the dugout. He had the bird's eye view of Alonso's ball to left field that nearly cleared the wall. Quintero to Alonso, and the throw to Richard covering for the out. Mark, did you think that ball was gone?
Guy's perfect swing on the ball, but I've seen Petco Park swings to left field, and Alonso knows at Great American Ballpark that's probably out in Cincinnati. But here at Petco Park, you got to really juice it to go to left.
Mark, I've noticed that the left-handed hitter tonight, especially Alonso, taking Sanchez the opposite way. Seems like it's a good approach that these hitters are taking.
Yeah, Mark, and it's great to see because Clayton Kershaw, like you alluded to earlier in the game, this is going to be a tough lefty. That speed aspect of it, they need to let the ball travel and take it out there. Some great swings tonight.
Chris Getz, the second baseman, struck out his first time. Richard, good control tonight. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Just a couple of base hits in the last inning.
Yeah, and I really like his pace. The pace that he's throwing at and he works really involves all the infield. You can see some plays made behind him.
Getz, who started his collegiate career at Wake Forest and then finished at the University of Michigan, rounds it out to Alonso for the second out.
Mark Sweeney, can you get a sense of what's going on in the dugout down there? What's the chatter?
I think they're just taking it all in. I mean, I think they really love being back here. But I love the view down here because this is normal for me. Being up in the stands and seeing those different angles, I like it down here. You can get a sense of a lot of different things. But they look comfortable, they look ready, and you know what? They just want to get through these last couple of games to make sure they get into the opening day.
Isn't it amazing how the game speeds up when you get closer to the field?
Yeah, it makes sure that I know that I'm in the right place now.
Here's a pinch hitter as Ned Yost goes deep into his bench. These are some of the youngsters that are active today. Number 93 is Jamie Romack, an infielder. Ooh, a little late pulling the trigger there, but Richard does not get the strike call.
You know, Mark Sweeney, these Royal hitters, they like to swing the bat early as well. They've got a young lineup.
Yeah, they're very aggressive hitters, and it leads off with Alex Gordon at the leadoff spot.
Ground ball right at Hudson. 3 ground ball outs and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Clayton Richard. We're at the halfway mark in this one. Padres lead it 2-0. Padres with the lead 2-0. And you can be part of Padres action here in 2012 with season tickets. You enjoy all the benefits all season long. Discounted parking, exclusive events, and much more. Starts as low as $7 a ticket, and you can get season tickets. And plans are flexible to fit your specific needs. Don't wait. Get your 2012 Padres season tickets by calling 619-795-5555. New pitcher for the Kansas City Royals is Herrera, Kelvin Herrera. And Clayton Richard with another easy 1-2-3 inning is going to stay in. He's gone through 5 innings. There's a strike. Herrera, just a youngster. This Royals team of Ned Yost, we talked about having the best team batting average in all of Major League Baseball this spring. They're going to hit, and they did hit last year. The 275 for the team was 4th best in the American League. It's pitching that is of concern for Kansas City. Ned Yost and the fans of the Royals. Ooh, pretty close. And Quintero thought he had strike 3 on Richard. The count goes 2-2.
Oh, kind of a tight zone, because I quite frankly thought that was strike 3 as well. But Herrera not getting the call.
Had elbow stress fracture and missed most of 2009, 2010. That one's outside. 3-2. It's from the Dominican Republic, just 22 years of age. Herrera, 5'10", 200-pounder. Foul back. Good cut.
Very good cut. He wants to flirt with that driver down there in that right field line again. He's got 322 power. Clayton Richard does.
Off the tee?
Yeah. Big swing. Yeah, get extended.
And he fouls off that pitch and stays alive at 3-2. He was the Indiana High School Football Player of the Year and the Indiana High School Baseball Player of the Year in Lafayette near Purdue University, his high school. And another foul, getting his hacks, huh? got 14 big league hits, a 125 career average.
See if Herrera tries to challenge him with a fastball. Look at the stride. Look at him get that head out, keeping the head down on the barrel of the bat. Will he throw a breaking ball? Another fastball.
Another foul.
Yeah, he doesn't want to walk Clayton Richard. He's going to challenge him with the heater. 10th pitch coming this at bat to Clayton Richard.
He didn't need 9 pitches to get the side out in the top half of this inning. And finally, down he goes as Herrera has his first strikeout. Tomorrow, Fox Sports San Diego, Blake Griffin, the Clippers take on Kobe Bryant and the Lakers live from Los Angeles. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Clippers Live tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego.
It's a good afternoon of hoops. The Clip Show and the Lake Show. Love it.
How explosive is that Blake Griffin?
I saw him play in Phoenix in spring training against the Suns. That was a lot of fun.
Maben has walked and struck out tonight, facing Herrera for the first time.
Good changeup from Herrera. That's one thing I've noticed about the pitching staff here for the Kansas City Royals. We saw Sanchez with the split finger. Mijares had a nice little changeup. Herrera the same. So Dave Island, the pitching coach, big believer in that off-speed pitch. There's another one.
And Maben goes down 1-2. Taking very good swings here the last week, 10 days, Cameron Maben. Become a souvenir down the right field side.
Now, did you notice after 2 straight changeups, Herrera tries to sneak the fastball by him, and Cameron Maben having a tough time catching up to it, right? And that's the exact idea that he's got in mind. Fastball down and away, tough to catch up to after seeing 2 soft changeups at 82 and 83. That fastball, low to mid 90s. Now what do you throw him? I say you dot the fastball right on the outside corner, or a breaking ball off the plate.
You're right again.
Well, that's the beauty of throwing changeups early in the count and when a pitcher has 3 pitches.
You saw catcher Quintero telling his pitcher to keep it down now,
right.
That breaking pitch.
Now Maben has seen all 3 of his pitches, right? There's the fastball away at 96.
Boy, he's not a very big guy at 5'10", 200 pounds, but high velocity on that fastball. Full count with 1 out, bases empty here in the 5th. Gets him again. That was with a changeup. So Herrera comes in, strikes out Richard, and fans Maben.
What a great sequence of pitches by Herrera. And the payoff pitch, usually pitchers will go to their number 1 pitch. They want to dot a fastball outside corner. Herrera there pulls the string. He threw 3 great changeups that at bat to Cameron Maben.
With 2 out, Will Venable will hit for Denorfia. Venable, a solid spring. Just showing so much more confidence. 339 is average with a half dozen RBIs. Just didn't chase bad pitches, and part of his problem the last couple of years, he's had good games, and then he has games where he's helped the pitcher out going after throws out of the strike zone. But he's much more disciplined this spring with Phil Plantier's guidance, coaching. You know, it started as soon as Plantier was named the hitting coach in the offseason. He called Venable. They spent several days together talking hitting, looking at video of his swing last year, and Venable said one of the nice things about Plantier, he wouldn't talk about a bad swing. He said, we're not going to talk about those. Let's look at the good swings.
I love that. Focus on the positive, right? I mean, hitters and pitchers, players, position players, they know what they can't do and what they struggle with.
There's that changeup, and he's out in front.
And sure, you want to correct that, but dwell on the positive. Know your strengths. Might see another change up here.
Ground ball right side, base hit. There's the 1-2 pitch. Venable shortens his swing, and a base knock to right.
And Herrera did not follow directions from Quintero behind home plate because he wanted to have that breaking ball in the dirt. He was tapping his glove in the dirt. On contact, that's knee high. That is a hanger. Tap the glove. Hey, get it down. Throw it in the dirt. I'll block it for you. Well, that's a hanger. And you know what they say? You hangy, they'll bangy.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say. And Will Venable, like you said, Dick, 1 and 2 in the hole. Nice short swing. A breaking ball coming into the left-handed hitter, and he pulls it through the hole.
Mark Sweeney, huh? You hangy, you bangy, huh? Is that what you used to say?
You hangy, we bangy, I think. Right, Mud?
Well, they will bang. Yeah, exactly. If you hangy, they will bangy.
And everyone bangy.
Yep.
Nothing like that dugout lingo.
Hey, Chase Headley did it from the right side, right?
He did. Really good swing. Actually, a changeup that was a little up. Perfect swing, and it actually had good carry on the ball.
It was hitting right-handed against starter Jonathan Sanchez. Disciplined, good eye. Here it is.
Yep. In the third inning, middle in, it was elevated, speeding up the bat of Chase Headley.
Number 4 on the spring for Headley. And then Guzman followed with a home run to deep center field. There goes the runner. A throw by Quintero into center field. Venable back on his feet will make it to third. Now Dave Roberts talked about his 2 best base runners right at the top of the lineup, Cameron Maben and Will Venable. Venable's steal, he leads the Padres this spring with 7 stolen bases, and then the error by the catcher.
You know what I like most about this? Look at the pop-up slide. Did you see that? Seriously. You slide into second base, pop up, he realizes where the ball is, bang. He is off and running. Just like that. I love that. Flash look. Pop it up. Take another 90 feet, Will. There you go.
Make that his 8th steal this spring. And that, ooh, that's a wicked low line drive off to the left. So Headley with a chance to pick up Venable in a 3-0 lead here with 2 outs in the 5th. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the Padre third baseman with Guzman scheduled next. Good block by Quintero on that bouncer. And guess what? A full count on Chase Headley.
Count, full count.
So Headley with 11 hits this spring, 6 of them extra bases, 4 home runs, a couple of doubles. That's on the inside corner, strike 3. So Herrera strikes out the side. Venable with a pinch single, but the Padres fail to come up with anything to pad the 2-0 lead after 5. Enberg with Mark Grant and Mark Sweeney. Clayton Richard, what an outing through 5 innings.
He's got to be really feeling good tonight, especially after the numbers he's put up in spring training. The one thing I've noticed, works quickly, getting ahead in the count. The pitch ratio is just great, the strike ratio rather. But to me, Dick, he looks free and easy. And there you see the line, only 2 knocks in 5 innings pitched. No walks to go with 4 strikeouts.
And a strike to the leadoff man, Alex Gordon, who is grounded to second and popped to short. Venable stays in the game in right field for Denorfia. Pulled foul. Now we've talked about the Padres hitting and hitting with power, and they've done it without Carlos Quentin, who figures to be in the middle of that lineup and the best chance to be the home run leader in this club. He's 2 to 3 weeks away from rejoining the club after that knee surgery this spring. He's taking batting practice on a chair. He wants to make sure that his hands are in good shape. He doesn't want to stress the knee after the surgery, but I mean, he's born with a baseball bat, the former Stanford star.
Hey, if he starts and comes back after that injury and is just on fire, how many guys are going to be hitting from a chair in the batting cage?
Yeah, we've heard of pitching from the old rocking chair.
Right.
Alex Gordon going back to the dugout, perhaps for a new stick.
Well, Clayton Richard, we talked about the strike ratio. 60 pitches for Clayton, 44 strikes. Well, he's pretty much locked in.
Well, what a contrast to his last outing against the Cubs last Thursday. He went 4 1/3, gave up 8 runs and 12 hits.
And you know what? After having a spring in Arizona, coming back to Petco Park and getting on this mound, getting used to the slope, getting used to the surroundings, this can't. Oh, nice pitch.
Just inside, says plate umpire Ripperger.
This has got to be a great feeling for Clayton Richard as we take a look. On the inside corner, oh, that's a strike. Right below the belt.
Another foul. The count level at 2-2.
He's topped out at 95 miles an hour as well. I know velocity is overrated, but that tells me that Clayton Richard is healthy. Darren Balsey, the pitching coach for the Padres, told us that in spring training.
Line drive base hit to right field for Gordon. The 3rd Kansas City base hit of the night. And time now from Petco for a Fox Sports game break.
Back to the Oakland Coliseum. Matt Cain in trouble again. Brandon Allen singles to center, but Angel Pagan guns down Yoenis Cespedes to keep it tied at 1. That's our Fox Sports game break. Back to Dick Enberg at Petco Park.
No action around the major leagues as we close out this spring training, and Fox Sports with those game breaks, and that'll be something that'll enhance our telecast throughout the year. CD's Escobar has flied to center and struck out tonight against Richard. Leadoff man Gordon's on. 2-0 Padres here in the top of the 6th inning. And Ernesto Frieri tuning up in the bullpen. Fly ball shallow left center. In comes Guzman for the out. Gordon back to first with 1 out. Eric Hosmer will step up.
I think Clayton Richard got away with one there because that pitch was elevated up above the belt. And the sound of it was off the end of the bat. And Mark Sweeney, this has got to be a great feeling for Clayton Richard after throwing up a 9 ERA in spring training back to his familiar digs of Petco Park.
Yeah, Mark, when you talk to Clayton Richard, there's a lot of pride involved. And I know he probably heard what a terrible spring he was having. Coming back here, like you said, being on this mound has to feel comfortable for him. It must feel real good getting back to Petco Park.
Hosmer 1 for 2 tonight, hitting over 400 this spring. Oh, they had him leaning the other way, and Gordon just does get back.
Mark, what was it like as a hitter, Mark Sweeney, to face a guy who worked quickly as we take a look very, very close, but a guy who just gets that ball up on top of that hill and works very quickly.
Well, it's very uncomfortable because
I don't know if Huntley was crossed up, but unable to handle that pitch high and inside. And on to second goes Gordon.
And Mark, just to further that, you're uncomfortable and you try to keep your own pace. But when you have a pitcher like Clayton Richard getting on the rubber and looking like that, it almost speeds you up too much and gets you out of you can get out of the strike zone a lot well. And when he's throwing strikes like this, you have to be aggressive. You're fighting that approach that you always want to take off this guy.
Pass ball is the ruling. That moves Alex Gordon to second base, and Hosmer with a chance for another RBI. Get this, folks, this spring Hosmer has 29 runs batted in. That's 8 more than anyone else in Major League Baseball. He has swung the hot bat. Takes a good rip, doesn't he? Just off the head of the bat on that breaking ball.
And one thing I've noticed, Mark Sweeney, lefty on lefty, Gordon does a nice job of hanging in there, that front shoulder.
He really does, and this guy really stepped it up last year and got a nice contract. But hitting in front of Hosmer and these guys, he's going to get better pitches to hit. And he took a really good approach against Clayton.
Ground ball up the middle. Bartlett able to glove it. The long throw is just in time. Hosmer denied an infield hit as Gordon moves to third. Well, Bartlett's made a couple of sparkling plays in the field.
I really didn't think Jason Bartlett was going to get to this baseball, spin and throw. And Jason Bartlett, one of those shortstops that when he has to hump it up, when that play is going to be close to first base, he knows when to turn up the dial, and they just get Hosmer.
2 outs to cleanup hitter Jeff Francoeur, who was lined to short and single to right.
Long strides from Hosmer, just gets him. He saved a run.
For a big man, he's got a good gallop.
That ball deflects off the glove of Bartlett. That's a run.
Gordon at third, 2 outs now here in the 6th. On the outside corner, 1-1 to Francoeur. Francoeur was double or nothing last year, 47 two-base hits. That was just one less than Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers for the major league lead. Pops this one up. That's going to sail back behind the Padre dugout. No, Richard ahead on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Richard, with Frieri throwing in the bullpen, figures that this will be his last inning and would like to close it out with 6 frames of shutout ball.
Guys, I thought I had a really good shot at that ball. Came right down and came right back. Almost took Jeremy Hermida out down here. Just missed his head in the dugout.
That's a hard head to miss right there in the fryer.
You got to charge those pop flies, don't you?
You got to call it out.
A ball, 2 strikes on Francoeur with 2 gone in the 6th. The Padres with a slim advantage, 2-0 on back-to-back home runs. Chase Headley and Jesus Guzman off starter Jonathan Sanchez back in the 3rd inning. Gordon at third with 2 gone. He got him with a fastball, a 2-seamer on the inside corner. So Clayton Richard completes 6 shutout innings. What a good sign that is going into the season. Richard on the top of his game.
My goodness.
I wonder if they'll invite us out there. Do they have champagne before the game? And
you got to get on the list.
Canapes and little caviar out there.
Got to talk to Pomerantz and Sweeney and get on the list.
Aaron Crow is on the mound now for Kansas City, another one of their #1 draft picks out of the University of Missouri, Topeka native. And a little check swing comebacker by Guzman. What a gone here in the 6th. We're talking about the luxurious confines for the Fox crew out there in the park. How about our new broadcast booth? Not too bad.
This is unbelievable. It's really nice. Padre logo. How about all the lights? This is just all for us.
Yeah.
We thank who's ever in charge of putting this thing together. The set, our booth. It's some kind of nest.
You know how fans can tell there's more lights here?
How's that?
Our foreheads. One gone, and here's Nick Hundley. Hundley with an infield hit and a strikeout tonight. And for many years, this was the television booth for the visiting team, and we were over in that snake box. It was 100 feet long and only 3 feet wide.
Right.
We were squeezed in there. Now we've got spacious confines and all the nice backdrop and all.
It's going to be nice. Beautiful.
How big is it?
Huge.
Yeah, I thought so. Our first huge of the season. Base hit. Hundley continues his hot hitting this spring. 2 for 3. The leading Padre batter for this spring training season came in at .412. And 2 for 3 to add to that glossy batting average.
That's perfect. Head down. We saw Nick Hundley in spring training smoke the ball on the sweet spot with some consistency. One of our TV games over in Peoria. But that is a nice piece of hitting. That ball down and away, and he's taking it exactly where it was pitched.
That's the kind of coaching that Phil Plantier has been giving the Padre hitters throughout the spring. The home runs will come. How many times have you heard even a home run hitter say, I wasn't even trying to hit a home run? That's when they count. To try to find all that grass out there in left and right center field. 1 out single brings up Alonso, who's hit a long single off the left field wall, was thrown out at second base on a quick throw, Karaman throw by Alex Gordon, the left fielder for Kansas City. Hit the ball hard the first time to left center field, and Lorenzo Cain out there in center chased it down. So Gordon showing you why he won the Gold Glove last year in the American League in left field. Two balls and a strike now to Alonso with Hundley at first. Padres trying to add to that 2-0 lead. Could use an insurance run as they seek their 20th win of the spring. 16-8 in the last 24 games. Alonso with more at bats than any Padre this spring, and more hits now with 24. Back to the mound again. Crow has trouble fielding cleanly, then gets the out. To call that a double play. Goodness. It appeared Alonso had beaten the throw at first base, but the call by umpire Guccione is it's a double play.
Hey, Padre fans, welcome to Fox Sports San Diego. Your Padres with a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 7th over the Kansas City Royals. When we see you on the post-game show, Mark Sweeney and I, a lot to talk about. We are going to break things down on this sweet swinging Padres team. How about that back-to-back home runs in the third? We're going to have more on that for you. Also, Clayton Richard, tonight's starter, getting right. That's what we'll talk about, just how well he's been able to throw as a pitching change now in the 7th. And you are going to get some clubhouse reaction to tonight's 2-0 lead. And hopefully, Padres fans, it will hold for the next couple of innings. Back to more action now with Dick and Mark. Guys.
All right, right-hander or left-hander? Yeah, left-hander,
yeah.
That's right. Although he could pitch right-handed if he wanted to.
He could do it all.
And he makes the pitch there very nicely for you to stay with us for the post-game report. Luke Gregerson making his 10th appearance of the spring. Has worked 9 innings, allowing 9 hits. Slotted in that 7th inning position. Figures he'll be the 7th inning man, as he has been for the last couple of years for the Padres, with Andrew Kashner in the 8th inning and Houston Street, former Colorado Rocky, replacing Heath Bell in that 9th inning closer role.
I think, like Clayton Richard, being in the environs of Petco Park, as we take a look at Andy Perino inserted for Chase Headley at third base and Jeremy Hermida out in left. Going to see more movement from the pitches of Luke Gregerson like we did with Clayton Richard.
Lorenzo Cain can't find that wicked slider. Cain safe on an error by shortstop Bartlett and safe on a fielder's choice. 0 for 2 tonight. Got him. Another slider. The replacements, Perino at third, Hermida in left, and Gregerson will hit in the same spot as the men that they replaced.
That is the slider we know and love out of the hand of Luke Gregerson. Down and away, pinpoint control. And when he is on, he is virtually unhittable.
Moustakas has struck out and popped up. And he takes the pitch on the outside corner. Strike one. Luke honored in the offseason as the Padres' best community representative. He's always free with his time, whether it's visiting hospitals or contributing to proper causes here in San Diego and when we're on the road as well.
Well, Luke's great with all the fans. If you've ever seen him around the young kids, just brings a smile to their face and just makes them feel welcome. Great guy to have on the ball club.
1-2, and he got him. So he comes in to dispose of Cain and Moustakas on strikes. And that'll bring up Quintero, the catcher, who's grounded out twice.
You're going to have to talk to Luke Gregerson after the ball game and find out what adjustments he's made on that slider. Because remember, last year the slider kind of fell by the wayside. And we've been so spoiled with the numbers that Luke Gregerson has put up since being a Padre. So nice 2/3 of an inning of work for Luke.
Just a little tune-up for the regular season for Gregerson, as Bud Black elects not to use him through the full inning. So a call to the bullpen and Joe Thatcher when we return.
save when you buy your San Diego Padres tickets early. As Dick mentioned earlier, prices will vary depending on the game you want to attend and when you buy. So check out Padres.com for current ticket prices, and be sure to buy early. The early bird gets the worm. The early bird gets the best seats, and also you save while you're doing it. Dick?
So that as you move closer to the game, basically the ticket price will move up to the listed price. But if you buy early, you make a saving. And this San Diego Padre organization has been fan friendly, voted as the best in baseball. Ticket prices more than reasonable. New concessions this year too that were interesting, as Thatcher works on Brian Pena, the catcher, as Ned Yost brings up the right-handed hitting Pena in this spot. Bases empty, 2 outs in the 7th inning. So Thatcher won't work left-hander against left-hander. High fly ball, deep left field. That could be trouble. Deep in the corner and gone. Just caught that little piece of pie in the left field corner. Pena off the bench with a home run, the short distance. It's 336 down the line, and that ball couldn't have been much more than 340 feet. It's 2-1.
Looked like a sweeping breaking ball. Oh, you talk about elevating a pitch as well. On contact, look at that. That's up around the Royals, around the jersey of Brian Pena. And hits off the bottom balcony of the Western Metal Supply Company building.
Coming right at you. That brings up Chris Getz, the left-handed hitting second baseman, as the home run by Pena closes the Padre lead to 2-1. Getz has struck out and grounded out facing Clayton Richard. So a 2-1 game, all the runs on solo home runs. Guzman and Headley for the Padres, and now Pena for Kansas City. 1-2, tried to get him to chase upstairs.
You know, this is the first spring in about 4 years where Joe Thatcher's been healthy. So it's been kind of a treat for the left-hander.
There's that sweeping slider. 2-2.
Boss. You hit this?
Got him. So Gregerson and Thatcher strike out the side, but Pena jumps off the bench to find home run territory down the left field line. It's 2-1, middle of the 7th. Good form tonight. Take Me Out to the Ball Game rings around PETCO Park, and there'll be a big house on Thursday coming up. 2:30 our coverage starts. The Dodgers, the Padres open the 2012 season here at beautiful Petco Park. So if you don't have tickets, please join us here on Fox Sports San Diego. The new pitcher for Kansas City is Greg Holland, 26-year-old from Marion, North Carolina, went to Western Carolina. Orlando Hudson turns around, hits left-handed, batting right. He fly twice to right field. Holland's numbers last year sparkling, 5-1 with a 1.80 ERA. 7th round pick. Ground ball foul as we switch down to Layla Rahimi. Layla.
Joined by one of the pitchers in the previous inning, Luke Breckerson. Luke, you got a nice outing out of what you did today. Got Moustakas and Kane out. How did you feel about what you were able to do?
I felt really good. You know, I feel like I got a really good feel for my pitches, especially late in the spring, and it's kind of transitioned over till today, and let's hope it keeps going.
Speaking of getting a feel for your pitches late in the spring, what have you done to adjust your slider?
It's one thing I worked on all off season. I was just constantly playing with my grip, you know, and not even on that pitch, just all of them, and just trying to really make sure that I ingrain that feeling into my head and make sure that I go out there and throw it the same way every time.
And then you hear the background stylings there of Nick Hundley congratulating Orlando Hudson there. But just back to you, Luke. This is a time where we have only a couple of days before the season. How much work did you get done in the spring, and how does that also add to what we're about to start here?
You know, I mean, we're working hard every day to make sure we refine everything that we do out on the field, pitches, fielding, no matter what it may be, and I just kind of been working on the same things every day, just trying to make sure they more consistent out of them.
Sure. And then we're back at home. How does it feel to be back at home, and does it remind you that we do have just a couple days now?
It feels great to be here. I love playing ball in San Diego. I love this park. I love the fans, and we got a great group of guys here, so I think it's gonna be exciting.
Including a few assists there on your interview. We appreciate it, Luke.
All right, take care. Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, the exchange with Orlando Hudson, a ground ball single to center field as Everett Cabrera is running for him, and you heard some of that dugout chatter. Part of the scene there with Layla down there, you get a real feeling for on the field presence. Bartlett, the hitter, has a single and 2 at bats. Cabrera, the pinch runner at first base. The Padres' 8th hit of the night. Orlando Hudson's first base knock. So Cabrera and Perino both in the game now, and it figures one of those will stay with the big club on opening day. One will go to Tucson. And it's really a 50-50 call for Bud Black.
And all those coaches in the coach's office, when they make that decision, Buddy Black will have each of his coaches state their case.
Bartlett goes down swinging as Holland has his first strikeout, and we hope you'll be part of the big Padres opening weekend as they battle the Dodgers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday fans in attendance, you'll get that 2012 schedule cling. That's the magnetic schedule of the Padres season, brought to you by Aladdin Bail Bonds, and enjoy some fireworks after the game Friday night. Don't wait. Buy early, save at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. Jeremy Hermida inserted into the game in left field, and even though it was reported that they would bat in the position of the man they replaced, not the case. He's hitting in the 9th spot. Cabrera with a leaning lead does not go. Ground ball up the middle, and a nice play by the shortstop Escobar, and back to first, not in time for the double play. Oh, Escobar, who led the American League in both assists and putouts last year, and has received an extension of his contract because he plays his position like this.
That is not an easy play, especially on the short hop. Ball off the bat. Looks like it's going to scoot through. Some great range from Lorenzo Cain at center field, and Escobar at shortstop. Yeah, that'll make a pitcher happy. And Jeremy Hermida, one of the guys we talked about in the pregame show, being on the bubble, depending on what will probably happen with Mark Kotze. You know, he hit the ball squarely. It was on the ground. It was ticketed for center field, but a darn good shortstop put a glove on it.
So Maben will bat for the 4th time. He's walked and struck out twice. Safe on the fielder's choice is Hermida. We're here in the bottom of the 7th inning at Petco, and the Padres leading 2-1. Good stop by Pena.
You know, I wanted to make a point when coaches and managers evaluate guys on the bubble, even though they may make an out, is it a hard out? Is it a broken bat? You know, are they taking good swings? They take that all into consideration. I mean, just because a guy's 0 for 4 doesn't mean they were necessarily bad at bats.
Could be
4 screamers.
Yeah, that's right. Change in the outfield. Kane is out. Francoeur moves from right to center, and Hosmer from first base to right field. Billy Butler now is the first baseman for Kansas City. Right down the chute, 3-1. Will Venable is on deck. See if Cabrera's going 3-1. Nope. Oh, line drive knocked the glove right off the pitcher Holland, but he's able to keep it in front of him and get the out at first base. So hard hit shot by Maben, but denied. Watch out. Look at that. A behind the back stop. Nothing for the Padres in the 7th.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
Ravine, Angels and Dodgers, and top of the 6-2 on for Albert Pujols, who just misses his 7th home run of the spring. Eric Ibar scores. Dodgers lead 2-1. Now back to Dick Enberg at Petco Park.
So in that freeway series up to Dodger Stadium, the Angels won in Anaheim last night. Pujols flirts with a home run. Dodgers lead by 1. And here by the same score, the Padres with a 2-1 lead, and Andrew Kashner, who's apparently going to inherit the 8th inning role left by Mike Adams. Hard-throwing right-hander acquired from the Cubs for Anthony Rizzo. Tuning up here in the 8th, will face the 9th spot in the order and a pinch hitter, and then the top of the order for Kansas City.
Eye-popping numbers for the young right-hander. We talked about him all spring training. And the one thing that is really refreshing, Dick, about Andrew Kashner is, you know, there are pitchers in the league that throw 199. They don't know where it's going. I mean, guys are shit. But this guy, he has just harnessed that control, and he is dotting the outside part of the plate and then throwing that slider.
How about that one? Yeah.
That's the equalizer there. Very tough to hit.
You know, when someone has that kind of velocity and can snap off a curveball, it's going to have a bigger break than you see from just the average major league arm.
Not only can he cast the lure, trying to hook some bass, this guy can cast the baseball towards home plate as well.
Billy Butler is the leadoff man here in the top of the 8th inning for Kansas City. Another one of their #1 draft picks, selected in the first round in 2004. I mean, in 2003 was Meyer, then Butler in 2004, Alex Gordon 2005, Luke Hochevar in 2006, the #1 pick. Moustakas started at third tonight in 2007. Eric Hosmer in 2008. Aaron Crow we've seen on the mound 2009. So they've really stocked this lineup, Kansas City, with #1 picks. One and one to Butler on the outside corner. Hitting a solid .388 this spring, Butler, with 4 home runs. And he rips that one into right field for a base hit. He is a good-looking hitter.
That is a perfect example of a hitter trying not to do too much. That pitch was at 99 miles an hour. Butler knows that Cashner can throw the heat, so what does he do? Okay, I'm just going to get the bat head started. It's an elevated pitch. If I try to pull that pitch, I'm done. He smokes it to the right side of the infield. Nice and easy. Not trying to overswing. All the power is coming from the pitcher, huh? At 99?
That takes the Royals to the top of the order, and Alex Gordon, who has a single in 3 trips. The tying run on, leadoff single for Billy Butler. Well, this is a pretty good test. Back to Petco Park, close game, low scoring game. Bullpen trying to hang on. Some changes for the Padres. The youngsters in there. Spangenberg at second base. Knoll in center field. Blanks at first base. In there for a strike. 1-2 the count. John Baker is now the new catcher for the Padres. There, it looked as if he took a little off.
Yeah, well, that one was 98. All the other ones were 99, so you're right.
He did take a little
changing
off.
speeds.
Gordon goes down swinging at the.
That's a two-seamer as well. We talked about the two-seamer in spring training, where Andrew Cashner will create a little bit of movement.
Brings up Alcides Escobar, the shortstop for Kansas City. 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of flyouts and a strikeout.
I got a nice letter from a gentleman last year hearing me say, what's a two-seamer? Well, we're here to teach you. Hold the ball on the two seams there. See it? And then what Andrew Cashner is doing is when he stays on top of the baseball, he gets that run that way. And that's what the pitch that we just saw out of the hand of Andrew Cashner. So the two fingers on the seams.
So show the four-seamer now.
Hence,
it's contrast to the two-seamer.
So there's the two-seam grip. We'll now see all the four seams here. When the ball is thrown and held this way, ball comes out of your hand like this. Well, what's that doing? 1, 2, 3, 4. All four seams are going that way.
And that'll tend to
straighten out and have a little late life to it.
1 ball, 1 strike now to Escobar. In there at 98 miles an hour. An easy gas, as they say, in the dugout. Cashner bringing the remnants of the Arizona salt on his cap. Oh, and then he throws that one at you, and you have no chance. That'll bow to Uncle Charlie. Here's Cashner's thoughts about that two-seamer.
I would say the biggest thing for me was I really learned how to throw a two-seamer in AA, and never had great command with it, and it's just been something I've always been working at command, and I feel like from last year to this year my command with it has gotten a lot better.
First pitch to Eric Hosmer is fouled back. Hosmer has a single and 3 at-bats. He's hit safely in 14 straight games this spring, Hosmer. So again, when you see that fastball tailing away from a left-handed hitter, that's the two-seamer. Oh. That looked like the four-seamer tried to pin the outside corner, just missed.
You know, the beauty of that two-seam pitch is, well, if he throws it in the upper 90s, chances are hitter's going to swing through it. But because of the late movement down, you'll get your grounder and you'll get a double play.
And Baker down low to pick that up on the short hop, and the count goes 2-1 to the dangerous Eric Hosmer. By far and away the leading RBI producer in spring training in the major leagues, the man at the plate with 29.
No, that was 90. Maybe it was a changeup. It looked straighter, but it definitely was not a fastball.
All right, so 2-2. Perhaps the Royals' best hitter at the plate. What's he get this next pitch?
Well, that looked like a changeup at 90. My goodness.
Unfair.
I say he's going to try to sneak it by. He just slowed up his bat with a changeup at 90. Try hitting this four-seamer at about 99 miles an hour. Or a slider at 88.
You're right again.
0 for 2. We're in the collar tonight.
Well, Andrew Kashner gives the Royals a taste of his medicine after the single by Butler. He strikes out 3 in a row.
I was going to school.
Are much more fun with a group. Groups as small as 20 people can enjoy big savings, special seating, a scoreboard welcome, and much, much more. Petco Park also offers several exclusive group facilities to fit your group needs. Reserve your group tickets today or even a private suite. Call 619-795-5555 and enjoy a big league ball game.
Jonathan Broxton fills that center circle here at Petco Park as he comes in to work the 8th inning. It'll be Venable, Blanks, and then Perino for the Padres. 2-1 as the Padres like to pick up a little insurance here in the 8th inning against the hard-throwing right-hander with the Dodgers last year. All-star pitcher a couple of seasons with the LA Blues. Off a year last year. Eventually had operation, took bone chips out of that right elbow.
Well, talking to some people with the Royals in spring training when we were in Peoria the last time the Padres played the Royals, they said Jonathan Broxton is back when he was good to go with those Los Angeles Dodgers. There's Dodger blue and then there's Royal blue.
Jumps in front of Venable, 2 strikes. Venable, a pinch hit single is only time up tonight. .94 on that tailing fastball. Probably going to see Houston Street in the 9th inning as Bud Black testing his bullpen, the way it's set up for the year. Street getting ready. Cashin, very impressive.
Yes, he was.
Down goes Venable. Broxton with a strikeout.
Good biting slider from Jonathan Broxton. Good tilt. We saw it from Andrew Kashner, and now we see it from Broxton.
Just joining us in the 3rd inning against former Giant left-hander Jonathan Sanchez. Back-to-back home runs by Headley and Guzman to give the Padres a 2-0 lead. Clayton Richard, 6 outstanding innings, a 3-hit shutout ball. And then a pinch hit home run off Joe Thatcher by Brian Pena, the backup catcher for Kansas City, in the 7th inning to account for the Kansas City run. 2-1, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Kyle Blanks batting for the first time. Backed off the plate on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Royals pitchers have had the strikeout pitch going tonight. 11 Padres have gone down. On the outside edge. Blanks hitting .333 on the spring. 12 for 36. 1 home run. High fly ball right field. Hosmer out there has a beat on it. 2 away. And Andy Perino will hit for the first time. Switch hitting infielder who can play short or second or third. Perino hitting only .215 this spring, but with surprising power. 5 home runs for this young man from New York.
He's got pretty good bat speed. Get that barrel of the bat out in front, stands up on the plate. See if he thinks left field here against Broxton.
Of speed and outside.
Kind of surprised that he throws him a first pitch breaking ball to fall behind. You know, Andy Perino can eliminate that breaking ball and look fastball. Fastball away particularly. Oh, another breaking ball back to back.
Perino last year split time between San Antonio and Tucson, and he hit a combined 12 home runs. Product of Lemoyne College in upstate New York. High and away, and it's 2-1.
Well, the outfield playing shallow and shifting towards the left field foul line. So they're betting that if Perino puts the ball in the air, he won't be able to turn around that fastball if hit in the air off Broxton.
Good cut at a breaking ball. 2-2. They may have misjudged Perino's power based on the outfield alignment. Shift way around toward left. The right field corner wide open for Andy. Got him. So Broxton 1, 2, 3, 8th inning, striking out both Venable and Perino to the top of the 9th inning. Houston Street comes in to try to lock up a 2-1 win.
Blampy.
So a 2-1 Padre lead to the top of the ninth inning on the home runs by Headley and Guzman and the sensational 3-hit shutout pitching of starter Clayton Richard going 6 innings, 3-hit ball. And now Houston Street trying to close the door on the Royals here in the top of the ninth inning. Infield now has Perino at third, Cabrera at short, Spangenberg at second, and Banks at first base. And there's Houston Street this spring. His ERA elevated because his last outing he allowed a couple of home runs, and that ERA in only 9 games will be ballooned in a hurry.
And let's see if he bounces back. Houston Street is one of the best at forgetting about his last outing and concentrating on the outing at hand. Pinpoint control is his game. Low 90s with the fastball.
It's Corey Spangenberg, the #1 draft pick of the Padres last June. And he showed that his reputation is a good bat control, good hitter. It's true in his half-year minor league ball. Getting a chance to get a little action here in the ninth inning at Petco Park. A name that you may want to follow as we move forward. He's one of the many immensely talented young players in the system. He's at second base. Spangenberg, if you please. Out of play as Jeff Francoeur with a good cut. It's Francoeur to lead it off here in the top of the ninth inning. Single and 3 trips, line out to short, and a strikeout. There's the breaking ball outside.
Well, 1-run lead. Houston Street knows that Jeff Francoeur has a big zone. He will swing at any pitch. He's going to try to nibble at those corners.
That's outside. Mitch Meyer, another of the #1 draft choices of the Kansas City Royals, is on deck.
Be careful here.
That high popper at about 8 rows back.
You know, I know it's spring training, towards the end of spring training, but that last pitch to make it 3-2 is a fastball, and looked just like a slow bat from Francoeur. That ball caught a lot of plate on the outer half. Take a look at Francoeur. See the pitches that leaks right down the middle of the plate.
Ground ball sharply, but right at Cabrera at shortstop. Fires the first for the out. 1 gone here in the ninth as Street digs out of a 3-1 count. Gets Francoeur. Brings up Meyer. Meyer, the #1 draft pick in 2003 for the Royals. 261 spring. No homers. Might be a play here for third baseman Perino. No, just back a couple of rows.
Great effort. Flash look. You have to know where the stands are. Air on the fan.
He had it surrounded, though.
Great effort, though. A for effort.
One ball, 1 strike. 90 miles an hour on the fastball from Street. His strength is putting the ball exactly where he wants it. Excellent control. Not overpowering stuff, but he certainly was outstanding against the Padres here at Petco as a Rocky reliever. Very interesting young man, Houston Street.
Boy, once you get him started, man, he loves to talk, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he can talk on just about any subject you want to bring up.
Great stuff.
Foul tipped into the glove of catcher Baker. 89 on that pitch.
throw a little change up there.
One out here in the top of the 9th inning. The Padres clinging to a 2-1 lead. Bases empty in Houston Street. Trying to close the deal.
Breaking ball right here.
Hit well to left field, but Hermida right there. Shading toward the line, and the Royals are down to their final out.
Here's a backdoor breaking ball from Houston Street. What I mean by backdoor is that you started off the plate to the lefty, and then you can see just kind of feeling for that pitch. Takes all the power out of that swing. Once again, like his fastball, Dick, his breaking ball perfectly placed on that last pitch.
Here's the home run hitting third baseman Mike Moustakas. It's just a couple this spring, but a threat. He struck out twice and popped up. Way out in front of that changeup, and the Royals and Moustakas down to the final strike. Now this hardy crowd will witness this exhibition game at PETCO. Lets itself be heard. And a high pop-up back of the plate. Baker with a mask off has a play and makes the catch. The Padres return to PETCO, win their 20th of the spring, 2-1. Padres Live brought to you by Cox. Right around the corner, Mike Pomerantz tells us what's in store.
A great post-game show, Dick and Mark. We're looking forward to it. Going to talk about the sweet swings of your Padres. How about that third inning? Back-to-back homers, the difference makers. 2-1, as you mentioned, the final. Also, we're going to break down Clayton Richards getting right tonight for sure. Clayton Richard, 6 strong innings, and we're going to have some clubhouse reactions to the win.